I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. All 18 miles of Flagler County's beaches will reopen today on a limited trial basis, similar to parks and trails in unincorporated areas, where County Administrator Jerry Cameron tells WNZF compliance hasn't been an issue.
What we don't want is it to be an opportunity for socializing. It's an opportunity for exercise.
That means no day trippers allowed. Cameron says beaches will be open for exercise only during specific hours.
Tentatively, we're thinking that Flagler Beach and the unincorporated areas will open between 7 and 10. The unincorporated areas to the north of Flagler Beach, we're going to do an additional period of time, 6 to 8, for the people that like to walk in the evening.
If it works out well through the weekend, he says those hours could be expanded. Cameron says they'll be watching to ensure no one is taking advantage of the situation and that social distancing is happening. Meantime, a task force has begun its work in looking at reopening the state's economy. John Arking reports.
Republican State Senator Travis Hudson says the task force, made up of elected officials and business leaders from across Florida, has already met this week, and they're just waiting on further instruction about how best to proceed.
We're going to wait and get some ideas from the task force. The task force is probably going to give us some directions. If I'm a betting man, I would assume the governor is going to let locals make decisions based on a broad parameter checklist that he's going to put forth. So whether restaurants come back open to half capacity or no more than X amount of people, or we allow gyms to reopen, non-essential businesses to come back.
Hudson says for those who can still work at home, it's probably best they continue to do so, and people should still be wearing a mask and practicing basic social distancing measures while out in public. He says the last thing they want to see is a secondary spike of infections. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
Those who had COVID-19 and recovered may actually be able to play a vital role in helping others. Advent Health Hospital has begun testing those persons for antibodies in the fight against the novel virus. Wally DeCino is the hospital's chief operating officer.
If a patient, they recovered already, they have been without any symptoms for at least 15 days, their primary care physician can actually order the testing and we can perform that.
For those who've already recovered far outside the 15-day window, DeCino urges them to contact One Blood to see if they're eligible to donate.
When you think infrastructure, you might think of utilities or roads, but Flagler Cares is creating a new infrastructure.
CEO Carrie Baird says that the county has not had this kind of infrastructure before.
When new resources come from the federal government and make their way to our community, we can quickly capitalize on those new resources and get them out to people in need.
Baird said that many times before, those resources from the federal government would get away from smaller counties like Flagler to go to bigger municipalities. She said that Flagler Cares now has to figure out its staffing and how to get those resources to people in need. To listen to more about Flagler Cares with Carrie Baird, download the Flagler radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. Tomorrow, start slow and partner with many organizations. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office's Police Athletic League has been awarded additional funds to continue a vital program. Tony Magoo has the story.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office Police Athletic League has been selected to participate in National PAL's 2020 mentoring program. Flagler County Sheriff's Office PAL has facilitated the McGruff Mentoring Group for 3 years and has partnered with Flagler Technical Institute's 21st Century Learning Center at Rimfire Elementary School to host the mentoring group weekly after school to teach students important life skills and values. With me is Sheriff Rick Staley.
Flagler Sheriff's PAL received another grant from the federal government and National PAL to continue our outreach programs in the middle school.
Sheriff, what was the grant that you received?
This grant was about $25,000. In the last 3 years, we have received about $75,000 from national and federal grants for the PAL program. And since I've been sheriff, we've received almost $1 million in grants.
The program is starting its 4th year. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.